So we've been receiving a lot of questions lately about the PPP loan program. Now that we're tracked some time, those that were able to get their loans at the very beginning are now starting to ask questions about, well, now how do I get it forgiven? Greg, what's the first step?
The first step is determine the amount forgiven, and it's basically the first 8 weeks once you receive the loan, or for borrowers who are on a bi-weekly or every 2 weeks pay period, it's the first pay period 8 weeks after you receive that, in determining what can be forgiven. When you're looking at those expenses, it really breaks down into qualifying expenses, and there's 2 specific types of those.
Yeah, so you want to look at your payroll, your compensation. You have to use 75% of the loan amount to go towards your payroll and payroll expenses. And then you can also use an additional, the rest of the 25% for non-payroll expenses such as mortgage, utilities, and rent. So one of the stipulations part of the program was that you could not reduce any of your current employees' pay by more than 25%. Or cut their hours or lay anybody off to get that loan forgiven. So you have to kind of go through the process to prove that you did not cut anybody's pay by more than 25%, and you have the same number of full-time equivalent employees on June 30th as you did before you got the loan. There are some exceptions to that rule, so if you've made a good faith written offer to an employee to try to rehire them and you were rejected by that employee, that does not count against you. Or if you had one that voluntarily resigned, you did not lay them off, they just voluntarily resigned or quit, that also does not count against you.
Yeah, so applying the 75% rule, that at least 75% of eligible forgiveness expenses go towards payroll cost. And Congress is currently discussing changing that percentage, but another way to look at it is a borrower's maximum loan amount could also be reduced if the borrower's non-payroll exceed 25% of eligible expenses.
Yeah, so that's the 3 steps that you need to go through to figure out how much of your PPP loan can be forgiven. If you have any amounts that don't meet that criteria, or there's an amount that's not forgiven, so that's just under the original terms of the loan that you got, which is a 2-year payback, 1% interest, and you can defer payments up to the first 6 months. So any amount that's not forgiven, those will be kind of the structure of the loan. So if you have any questions, I encourage you to reach out to your CPA or the lending institution that you got the loan through.